Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make a snake pencil topper. So the colours we're going to use today are green and red and 2 of the mini pony beads. Now obviously you can use whatever colours you like. You can alternate the colours, you can use vibrant bright colours, it's completely up to you. So we're going to get started. It's a single loom project and it's going to be in the offset configuration, which means columns 1 and 3 are slightly lower than column 2. The arrow is pointing towards you, or if you don't have arrows on your loom, the open part of the peg is pointing towards you. We're double banding, which means you take 2 bands and you place them over the peg together as if they were one. So we're going to get started with his head. And yes, I know there's about 6 different snakes out there, but this one is a little different. Push down on your bands. Now for the eyes, as I said, we're using the mini pony beads. Thread them however you like, but the way we're going to do it is we're going to take a single green band, stretch it, twist it on itself in a figure 8 and slip it onto the hook like that. Okay, now we need to do 2 of those, and I very cleverly just did that. We'll do another one. Slide that on, and I'll see if I can salvage this one or if I have to remake it. I can salvage it. What fun. There we go. So we have 2 of these, and this is hopefully to make his eyes stick up a bit. We're going to slide them onto nothing apparently. Slide them onto a single green band. Now I say green because that's what I'm using, but it would be whatever colour you are using. Slide that on like so. We are going to place this band across these 2 pegs here and spread them out like that. Okay, next we're going to do some layers because snakes have a sort of flattish head to them, so we're going to try and emulate that. So 2 bands and another 2 bands on either side, so that we have first layer and then the second layer. Okay, then we're going to do some crossover bands, which is a single band that you're going to stretch into the shape of a triangle over those 3 pegs. And lastly, we're going to put an end cap here. So take a single band and wrap it around your hook once and twice, and that slides onto there. So let's loop this up. Dig down past your end cap and grab the top 2 bands and loop them to their corresponding side, and the same for the middle. Whoops, let's make sure we go past all of those bands. There we go. Now we want to just deal with the top layer, so push your hook, push the crossover band out of the way and grab just the top layer, which is the top 2 bands. Same on the other side, make sure you push the crossover band out of the way. Okay, now we're going to take this off the loom. I like to hold my finger here to make sure those bands do not escape, and we will pull them off the loom. Turn around and do the same on the other side. Lift up and pull them off the loom. Okay, so the only 2 from that top layer that are on the loom are these 2 here. Turn it around. We're going to dig down and find the bottom 2 bands. Push all the crossover bands out of the way. you just want those 2 bottom bands, and loop up and loop up and loop up. We'll do the side ones so that we know our layers are secure, and then let's loop up the middle like that. Taking 2 red bands, you're going to push your hook down the middle peg and out the side and attach those 2 red bands to your hook. Pull them back through to the back of this peg. What we're going to do, I want the tongue to flip up the other way. So I'm going to swap the sides of where my hook is, and instead I'm going to take these 2 up, over and off, and pull tight like that. Now, the way to give him a forked tongue is to tie a knot in this part. So, taking your bands, I'm going to use a slightly smaller peg, hook, peg, goodness gracious, what is wrong with me? And I'm going to tie a knot there and splay these out like that. Let's take him off our loom. And see if he looks remotely snaky. We can hope, right? So stretch him out a bit. He looks a bit snaky, I think. Okay, so there's his head. Now we need to make a tail. Again, double banding. You're going to take 2 bands and we're going to go all the way from the top to the bottom of the loom, and then we're going to tie a tight end cap, which means you're going to put it on your hook and you're going to wrap it at least 3 times. So taking a single band, wrap it around your hook once, twice and 3 times, and we will slide it onto the end here like that. And that's quite tight, but that's what we need. Dig down past the end cap and grab the 2 bottom bands, and you're just going to loop all the way up to the top. Now please remember, if I'm going too fast for you, you can slow me down. You can pause me, you can rewind me, you can fast forward me, you can even do what my husband would love, and you can mute me. So it is completely up to you how fast we go. Alright? So we'll take this off our loom and we're going to put that there too. Now we're going to change the configuration of our loom. So turn your loom upside down, grab your base removal tool that's on the back of your Rainbow Loom hook and take that middle base off, and then we're going to pop out the middle column. So we're left looking like this. Okay, we're going to start by doing a loop. So take your green band and you do a figure 8 loop with it. Okay, now we're only using 6 pegs, so if you're using a monster loom for this, you need to make sure you only use 6 pegs and not all 8. Okay, so here we have our first row which has the figure 8. I'm going to also be attaching the tail here, right there. Okay, and then I'm going to do my second row. And the second row you do not figure 8, you just lay it by stretching it out across the pegs. And we're going to do our third row, and you will need to make sure that you push everything down. Okay, so we are ready to loop. What you need to do is find the 2 bottom bands and loop them up and over the peg. 2 bottom bands, up and over, up and over, up and over. Move the towel out the way to grab the 2 bottom bands. And you want to go, you need to make the tail pop out. So there we go. Oops, that one's right, but this one is not. Let's poke him back through. Up and over. Up and over, and push everything down. So that was row 3. We need 12 of these. Okay, so I'm going to keep count. That was 3. I'm on 4. And I just use a little pad of pencil and paper and just do a little tally of what row I'm on, because I don't want to lose count. Up and over with the bottom 2. Now what you need to do, he's next. The actual tail is next before we can get to the bottom 2. So we need to take him up and what have I done here? Let's twist him around that way. Just stuff him inside, so he's pointing inside, and then I'm going to take all of the bands for him, which is 4, up and over, and then I'm going to take the bottom 2, because now I can access them, up and over, and push everything down. Okay, so that was 4. Now we're on 5. Bottom 2, and push down. Make sure your bands are not overlapping each other. So now we're on 6. And push everything down. We're on 7. We need to do 12. And the reason I do 12 is so that it can actually act as a finger puppet as well as the pencil topper. So it has a deeper pocket. So now we'll do 8. Bottom 2, nine, this is 10, oops, sorry, didn't mean to hit the camera. This is 11. And last but not least, we have 12. Now, we also need to add our snake head. So you're going to poke your hook through the end cap and grab 2 green bands and slide that through like that. You're going to put the face facing the opposite side of where the tail is. So I have my tail here, so my face is going to face forward, and I'm going to place my bands either side like that so that the snake head is in the middle. And then we will go round and loop the bottom 2. Now obviously these 2 middle pegs have more than 6 on them, but that is not a problem. Just take the bottom 2 to start with. Then we're going to go round and take the next 2 so that you're left with 2 bands on your peg. And at this stage here we can take the next 2 as well so that you're left with 2. Okay, so you want to have 2 bands left on your peg. Now what we're going to do is take a hook going from where the tail is. So at the back we're going to go around and collect all of these bands off our loom. Now I like to keep my thumb on the end one just in case it decides to try and go walkabout. So I have them all on here. I'm going to take a single green band, put it on the end of my hook, and I'm going to move those loops over onto that single green band. Now make sure you keep that band taut. If you let it go slack, you will lose the it will fall off the hook and you'll lose these loops. Push the head forward and reclaim the end of your band behind his head, and then take the one nearest to you up, over and off and pull tight. We want that to be a nice tight slip knot. And then what you're going to do is splay this out and wrap it around our snake's head. You might need to do it a couple of times, maybe even 3 times, and that's okay. There we go. If you need to, just place your hook through and wiggle it around to get it good. So here is our snake, who will fit onto a pencil like so, or even onto your finger. Now what we need to do is wrap his tail around the pencil like this and attach this little bit to the loop above. So we're going to take a single green band and we're going to go through the end cap and grab that green band like that. Okay, take one side over and off and tie a slip knot, and we're just going to thread this, if I can stop going round and round. So tighten it to the tightness you want, put your hook through, grab that tail, and then we can just tie a little knot here. And you know you tie better knots than I do, so just tie a knot. Tie a knot just here so that his tail is connected. And then all you're going to do to secure it is slide your hook up the inside of these bands and pull that loop through so that we can hide it discreetly. Now, as you can see, mine has come unravelled. That doesn't actually matter, because all you do is twist it around again like that. And there we have a snake pencil topper, or if you prefer and you have little fingers, a finger puppet. I hope you enjoy making him. Take care.